Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Eau de Enders. My name is Max, and in today's video we're going to be discussing one of my favorite fragrances to break out in the colder months, Gris Charnel Extrait. If you're new to the channel, just know that none of these reviews are sponsored. I've bought everything that I review on the channel, and I have a lot of experience with the fragrances that I review because I want to deliver you guys my honest opinions. For those of you worried about me reviewing expensive fragrances, don't worry, I do have videos planned going over designer entry-level fragrances, just great starter fragrances, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to see those. So with all that out of the way, let's get right into the video. So the fragrance I mentioned we're talking about is Gris Charnel Extrait by the house of BDK Parfums. If you don't know how we do things on this channel, we're going to go over everything. We're going to talk about the presentation, money, price point, projection, longevity, scent profile, how it makes me feel, and just another disclaimer, I don't find listing notes particularly useful, so I'm going to list the notes for you guys just based off of popular demand, but I'm going to talk about more how the fragrance makes me feel, what it makes me think about, and the experience of wearing this fragrance. So with all that out of the way, let's get into talking about Gris Charnel Extrait. Now, this is an extrait de parfum. This means that it's a flanker of the original, which is the Gris Charnel Eau de Parfum. This fragrance is considered more on the masculine or less unisex side. I have it on my arm right now, about a 1 hour dry down. This is unisex. I mean, it's masculine unisex, but anyone can really pull this fragrance off. Now, in terms of price point for Gris Charnel Extrait, I checked before this video, and on discounters, this is hovering around $220 to $230 a bottle. Definitely an expensive fragrance. Sample before buying. Do not blind buy. In terms of presentation, as with all BDK fragrances, it comes in a slide-out coffin, which I think I threw it away. I'm an idiot. Don't do that. But I love this fragrance, so I'm not going to be selling it, so I don't really need the box. But the box is very nice. The bottle is very, very heavy. The cap on this fragrance is, I mean, like, got to be half a pound. I'm not even exaggerating. The bottle itself, very thick glass. The atomizer is a fire hose. Be careful. We'll talk about that later and how it's impressive. But overall, the presentation for BDK is just absolutely phenomenal. Now, why did I pick this fragrance? Why is it one of my favorite fragrances? This, to me, is one of the most captivating fragrances in my collection. I love vanillic fragrances. I love sweeter fragrances. But I love spicy and woody fragrances, and this fragrance combines all those into one. If I had to describe this in a single sentence, it's kind of like a slightly dark, fruity, vanillic sort of drink. I don't really know how to describe it other than that. It just smells very delicious, but also not too gourmand. And for those of you that don't know what gourmand is, it's like something taking it into an extreme direction to where it smells almost edible. This is not that. So I'll put the fragrance notes up on the screen right now. Like I mentioned, I have a 1 hour dry down on my arm right now. And this, to me, is sort of a cardamom bomb. Cardamom is listed in the notes. Cardamom is a spicy note. It's a bit aromatic, and it can come off slightly woody, but it's mostly spicy. Now, the big note in here for Gris Charnel is fig. Fig, you might think, oh, it's very fruity. And you'd be right, it is fruity, but this is more of a pulpy, green, dark fruitiness rather than sweet and in your face and very like candy-like, if you will. Now combine that with the other notes of the fragrance. It's very vanillic, it has some iris, but it isn't powdery. It's kind of the more earthy, dark sort of iris or maybe orris root, but it doesn't really become a star of the fragrance itself. It's more of an undertone. It's more to give it sort of a body, I feel, and I don't detect it very much at all. And the base of this fragrance is a bunch of woods. I think there's cedar. I believe there's also vanilla in the base, and I think there's sandalwood. So it becomes very creamy and then very woody and less spicy and less fruity as you go through the dry down. And as I'm smelling it on my skin right now, on my skin, the fig itself, the pulpiness really comes through. It's a bit green in the opening, and because it's an extrait de parfum, this has insane longevity. Like on my skin, I can smell this after 12 hours with 2 sprays, and that is because I believe this is concentrated at 30% perfume oil. For those of you that don't know what that means, an extrait de parfum has a high concentration of oils. Like for instance, this bottle right here that is probably blinding on camera, that is Reflection 45 Man. I will be reviewing that later, but that has 45% perfume oil, which means almost half of the liquid in the bottle is perfume oil. In terms of projection, which is how much the fragrance sort of jumps off your skin, it's, I'd say moderate. Because of the perfume oil, it does have a bit of trouble projecting, but for this scent profile, I think that's totally fine. You don't really want to be choking people out. And I mentioned previously in the video, it kind of reminds me of like some sort of exotic, figgy, fruity, sandalwoody, vanillic drink. And it's just amazing, guys. I mean, Gris Charnel Extrait, if you want a fragrance to just wear through the colder months, fall, winter, and you want to just buy one that's super high quality, check out Gris Charnel Extrait. It is really one of my favorite fragrances, and I love everything about it. The only off-putting thing about this fragrance would probably be the price, and maybe some people wouldn't enjoy the slightly green, fruity fig opening combined with the spiciness and maybe the woodiness. But other than that, when it dries down, that dies down and becomes more vanillic. So, I think this is fairly mass appealing. There isn't anything too challenging here. So definitely comment down below, what do you want to see me review for my own collection? What type of videos do you guys want to see? I already have videos planned for applying fragrance, my thought process behind that. Maybe some videos explaining fragrance terminology, because some people get confused. You hear people talk about everything is cologne, everything is perfume. Can you call a men's fragrance a perfume? What is a fragrance? So maybe I'll clear up some of the terminology. But other than that, if you enjoy the channel, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.